Hello YouTube, this is Omagent here with another Wargame Airland Battle commentary. So in this episode we're going to be tackling the last of the big four NATO countries, the four NATO countries that were in European escalation, West Germany. Now, I have to say that aside from the USMC, West Germany is probably the nation I would most recommend you to stay away from. Just don't go near it, okay? There's a few reasons for this, okay? One, as you can probably tell by the fact I'm using a lot of gets, West Germany does not have any SAMs. They do not have any surface-to-air missiles, and I just think this is a crime against all sense. Okay? Aside from the fact I guess scored 170 points, and another 170 points there, I think. Yeah, okay, ignore that, okay. West Germany has absolutely no SAMs to call on. Now this is just the height of stupidity in my opinion. They have flak panzers, which are good against helicopters if you ambush them, but against jets, come on, West Germany. However, to balance this out, they do have a good load of jets. They have these starfighters. Didn't realise this was Star Wars, but yeah, they've got good starfighters. These are essentially jets that are good at fighting. Now you can see they try to rush to get into the town here, but I had a lot of flak panzers. I bought a lot of them, and I noticed they had a BVP. So yeah, this attack pretty much went south of them immediately because my starfighter swarm knocked them out of the sky, and then my flak panzers tore their infantry apart, and now my Himmelsschützen have been deployed. Okay, now, actually, I probably should start going into the strengths of West Germany rather than just talking about how they have no SAMs. Just to clarify, no SAMs, okay? Nothing. If you don't have fighters in the air, the enemy can just pretty much do what they want to you. Okay, moving on to strengths. Okay, tanks. West Germany has a lot of tanks to call on, okay? They have these little Keep 15.1s, you can see the M48. I think this is pretty much what the USMC have, but they have a tricolour strapped to it. Well, actually, technically, the American flag is a tricolour as well because it's got three colours. Okay, you know what I mean. Okay, the German flag instead of the American stuff, and it's for 5 points less. Then they have the Leopard 1A4, which is a pretty good tank. It's I think it's not well armoured, but it's got a good gun, good stabilizer, good optics, I guess, for a basic tank. And then they have the KPZ, I think that's how it's pronounced. Basically, it's a big, strong battle tank. Yeah, big strong battle tank. Not much more to say about it than that, really. Yeah, so they have got a lot of good tanks. Here comes an SU-27 run, as you can see here. I'm relying completely on starfighters for defense. I don't have any SAMs, and my flak panzers were all killed in the initial battle, so I'm completely vulnerable at this point. Yeah. So I'm bringing in more Leopard 1A4s just because, I might as well play to my strengths. This is actually a good site to fight in Germany. I know I've fought in this site before, but this is where Germany shows its strengths, okay? It's clustered, so AGMs can't really do much damage here when you think about it because the ranges are short, and the KPZ at least is a very well armoured tank, so it's actually quite a good site. I know I've played this before. I promise you I'll try and avoid this spot in future maps. But yeah, so the Conquerors, as you can see, would probably do a lot of damage to other nations, but like the Leopards just walk all over them. Now I can continue my assault. Now, I was pretty annoyed at this point because if you remember my USMC playthrough in this map, in this spot, I was completely cornered in this part for way too much of the game. So at this point, I'm just like, right, counterattack. I'm also going to buy some mortar crews. I mean, that's another disadvantage that West Germany has. They only have flak panzers and a basic mortar, no proper artillery. And then they have their Jupiters, which are not exactly great. Let's put it that way. Now, you might have noticed, aside from my starfighters, I also have a Tornado, which is a CAS fighter, or a CAS jet. Fighters are the starfighters. Oh wait a sec, they do have artillery. Sorry, my mistake. They had some basic artillery back at the back of the map that I didn't notice. Okay, my mistake. Germany has something good. Now at this point, I was driving through the woods and I saw some AA missiles flying out of there, so I decided saw my tanks, they spotted Tunguska, and kablam. Elsewhere, I noticed they still had ATM troops, so I divert my tanks. These are all very cheap stuff. I don't want to stop for too long though. Also, my ally just drove an I-Hawk into some infantry. Tried to give them a bit of warning. This is another thing about Gets, you have to micromanage them a lot, because obviously Gets have limited fuel, and every time they do a battle they have to go back to base to resupply. So there's a lot of micromanagement involved in Get warfare, but you have to keep telling them to come back into the fight. They don't do that automatically. So as you can see, more Conquerors, I'm guessing, or Fagos. Yep, it was the Fagos. So as you can see, the tanks are just raining down shells on them. They're panicked. The artillery hit them with a few rounds. They're all dead. Oh, one's dead. Come on, number 2. Come on, we're waiting. There we go. And there are 2 transports as well. In terms of transports, infantry, West Germany I think has mostly Jaeger. I don't think infantry is their strong point, but they do have a lot of Jaeger they can spawn. Basically, imagine what East Germany was in European escalation, and in this, West Germany can bring in a lot of tanks, mostly keep spam tanks, but they can bring in some heavy tanks if the situation calls for it. They can swarm the area with tornadoes. So yeah, pretty much West Germany is a keep spam nation. I mean, that goes against what they are completely, but they're very technologically advanced and can call in lots of very fancy tanks. But yeah, they're a spam nation. So as you can see, the Leopard 184s are still pushing up. Conquerors have been deployed, but in these close-knit wooded areas, they can't really reach their full potential. Let's see. There's also a KA-50. This is a new unit in the Soviet deck that I never deployed, so I never commented on. Basically, imagine Mi-28, but instead of ATKMs, it's got AA missiles, and you've got the KA-50. I think that was brought in by popular demand, because everyone's just like, the Mi-2850 isn't even in this era, bring in the KA-50. And they did. So, listen to the community. That's a symbol of using listen to the community, and I'm just going to shred it. There we go. 130 points. Whew. Anyway, SU-27's been brought in. Starfighters going up for round 2. Lose 1 Starfighter, but calling down another jet. So I have to say, the Starfighters are a pretty good jet when you think about it, because they just took on a helicopter with AA missiles, and then they have a room left over for a jet that costs about twice their amount. So, you know, props to them, or whatever the phrase is. So yeah, at this point, I've sacrificed a lot of units. I mean, most of my initial attack is dead, but I've caused a lot of carnage. I've got about twice the amount of kills that anyone else on my team has, and that again for the enemy team, which means we've got a nice 1000 point goosey advantage, and we're in a good position to start our attacks into their points of Echo and Gulf. So as you can see, my tanks are running out of the hills, raining down the fire on their infantry, and also we can start spotting the BM-21s there. Unfortunately, these tanks have a very poor fuel supply, which when you think about it, this isn't that big a map, but they're already out of fuel. That doesn't bode well. Anyways, Starfighters are doing a few strafing runs on the BM-21s, but doesn't look like they got lucky. Remember, these are not ground attack planes, these are fighters. The Corsair, on the other hand, might get a few hits in, possibly, but no, there's a buck in there. Yeah. And some Strelas as well. Phew, that's a lot of stuff. Anyway, at this point, my main plan is to take out here. Now we can see they've got artillery. They probably have anti-aircraft defences. Ooh, here's the BM-21s firing again. As you can see, they're causing quite a bit of carnage in that urban combat area. Don't know why my Starfighter's coming in damaged, but yeah, it's probably going to die. So as you can see, my tanks are now out of fuel, and they're pretty exposed, but if I can get them refueled, they can drive straight into the enemy's weak points. I mean, there's a command vehicle in there, there's Strelas. So yeah, my plan was to get those guys refueled. Also, a disadvantage, you could say, for West Germany is, one, their limited recon. They have these recon infantry, but they're only transported by helicopter, which can be a bit conspicuous, whereas you really want recon infantry to be behind enemy line spotters, and flying in a massive helicopter isn't exactly stealthy, is it?